to himself, fuck, I like that book. That's good.
Okay.
Do you think that Ed and the band will react that way? Because they are notoriously private.
They are, and I respected that privacy when I wrote it. You know, I mentioned, like, I don't mention dynamics between father and son. I don't make any assumptions about anybody's personal dynamics.
Right, right.
You know, when Ed and Al get in a fight, I just write about the fight.
Right.
I don't really get into, like, this happens because when they were 17, I don't fucking know, man.
Right.
And even if I did, who cares?
Right.
Like, Ed just jumped on Alex's car. That's what's entertaining.
Right. Now, in terms of the 5150 vault, is that still available or is that done?
No, I just decided that, I took it down because, I don't really read the feedback or comments or anything like that.
Right.
But I don't think I did a good job of, like, at least getting it out there in the public outside of our interview, of getting across that the footage is really respectful. Mm-hmm. And so this day and age, I think everybody's a bit, like, negative when something like that comes out.
Okay.
And I don't judge anybody for having that opinion.
Right.
But yeah, I put out this thing that's like, here's this footage, and it was kind of mysterious. So, I don't know. I didn't want people to think I was out there, like, bootlegging negative footage of Eddie Van Halen.
Sure.
And when the book idea came up, it was like, why Rock the Cradle?
Right. Sure. So now, what was the feedback on it, though? Like, did you get people who bought it? Did they like it? And you didn't know? Or you're unaware? Or?
I didn't sell that many.
Okay.
Only a handful.
Okay.
Only a handful. The common theme, I think I heard it from virtually every one of them, and I loved hearing it. I've been waiting my entire life to see this.
Okay.
Because nobody's ever really seen the inside of 5150 unless, there's some kind of, like, maybe sit-down interview or something done there.
Sure.
Much less, like, getting that personal with film footage.
Right.
So, yeah, I loved hearing it. Like, it was so cool. And, the handful of guys that bought it, like, you keep in touch. We're all friends on Facebook now.
Oh, cool. Excellent. Now, in terms of Roth, did you talk about Roth in the stories? I know you said there's no photos other than the Japanese sword thing. Did you talk about him and what it was like being in there?
Yeah.
Did you discuss that in the book?
Yeah, I talked about Dave's presence.
Okay.
And how it affects Ed. And, Dave's eclectic decisions on the road and off the road.
Right.
And again, like, these are done in short stories.
Right.
But even in these 3 short stories, it's like, I'm summing it up. No, like, Roth is a very eclectic guy, man. The 3 stories are just completely different. Like, you would never think this is happening from one person.
Right. Of course. How would you describe the energy between Dave and Ed in terms of, like, can you feel an electricity in the room when you're with them?
It was cool when he came to the first rehearsal. It seemed very loving. My perception was, from watching the dynamic, is they both accepted that they both have eclectic personalities.
Right.
And there was also kind of a mild sense of, we're older and wiser.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And also mixed in there, because I watched it, this is also pretty fucking fun, isn't it? Like, back together? Like, come on, man. It's not like we,
right.
got back together in a psych ward or something, and that's how we found each other. Like,
and does Dave arrive by himself, or does he come with an entourage?
When he came up there, he had a driver, and then he had a guy that was always with him.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what that guy did exactly.
Right.
He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
But always with Dave.
Right. What about in terms of songs? Was the songs already laid out, or was there discussion about what to play?
No, that set list was there waiting for him.
Okay. Was there anything on that set list that they worked up and then tossed away that maybe wasn't working out, or like, let's not play this one, or was there anything like that, or was it pretty much the set list everybody saw on tour?
It was pretty much the set list everybody saw on tour, and as far as, like, what went on there, or what Glenn Ballard would call a meeting of the minds.
Right.
To me, it felt more like Dave came in, punched his time clock, did his job, punched out, got back in the town car, and left.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what you're saying is that Dave really had no say in what was going on.
From what I witnessed at 5150, no.
Yeah. Oh, it was probably predetermined, I would imagine. And how far along did Glenn Ballard stay involved with these guys?
Just 04.
Oh, just 04. So he was just there for those 3 songs, and that was it?
And that was it.
Wow. Interesting.
He wasn't there that long, and then that's what Glenn does. He kind of comes in, does his job, and then he's on his way.
Right.
To the next one.
Right. Did you witness Sammy and the guys performing all 3 of those new songs off Best of Both Worlds?
Yeah.
Okay. Did they have more than the 3, or did they just have the 3?
They just did the 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was definitely not a time in which people were exchanging ideas.
Okay. Okay.
What were they doing?
In 04, Ed was pretty fucking pissed off at Michael Anthony. He was definitely not happy with Sam, and you could just feel it. Like, Sam would come in to do vocals, and I'm not one to, like, tell somebody how they do vocals, but it was the first time I'd seen somebody do vocals while just sitting down. He just sat on a stool. Granted, he's Sammy Hagar, who hits notes that just human beings shouldn't be able to hit.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Like, who the fuck am I to tell? Like, Sammy Hagar wants to lay on the fucking floor.
Right.
But by all means, man.
Right.
Whatever you've been doing, it seems to be working. But I think the general sitting on the stool, Ed appeared to not be too happy with that.
Really?
Ed's big on the work ethic. And when you're there, you work your ass off, and this is what you're doing.
Right.
And Sam, like Ed would mention a lot that he's phoning it in. That was his favorite term.
Interesting.
He just comes up here and phones it in.
Well, there's in your video that you recorded, which I love. It's got to be my favorite Van Halen video. It's fantastic. If you look it up on YouTube, for video for It's Out Time, there's a part in the video where you pause the whole video, and Sam says to Ed, "Where are you going?" And Ed gets in his car and he says, "It's time for you to sing, bitch," and he takes off. I mean, what was going on there?
He says, "I'm done.
Yeah.
Time for you to sing, bitch." Yeah, man. The film had continued to roll right there a little bit.
Yeah.
You see Sam just look at the camera and shake his head like, "What the fuck am I going to do, man? What can I do?" There's no band without him. There's no band without that guy.
That's true. What's
Van Halen going to do? Get another guitar player?
Unbelievable. It's totally crazy. But now, why wasn't that video used? It bothers me. Why that song came out with no video?
I don't think they even knew that I was making a video.
Oh, really?
That's when Glenn had, told me to come up there, and I was there during those rehearsals, and I was just kind of documenting what was going on in that room.
Right.
I wasn't, walking around the property freely like I did in 06 and 07. But I had all this footage of them recording the song. Like, a ton of footage.
Right.
And I just threw it to Glenn one day. I was like, "You want to cut like a music video for this?"
Wow.
And, and I was a young kid, well, somewhat young. Glenn goes, "Oh yeah, man. Why don't you just put something together? I'll give you like $5,000.
Wow.
And I heard $5,000, and I was like, I don't have to work for the rest of my life. I'm fucking set.
That's great.
Apparently I was wrong. So I just kind of cut that. Ed saw it. He liked it. Alice loved it. Sammy loved it. Sammy loved it enough to hire me to shoot his music video. But it was never meant to be anything. It was just, I had an idea of putting something together,
That's
when
great.
Ballard made me an offer that I couldn't refuse.
That's amazing. Which video did you...
Ballard could have offered me $1 and I would still cut it together. Like,
sure.
Editing a Van Halen video,
right.
for God's sake.
That's fantastic. And what video did you shoot for Sam?
The video for Loud.
For Loud, for his solo song.
Loud. Yeah, it's under just Sammy Hagar. It's not Chicken Foot or anything. It's just Sammy
all right,
Hagar,
that's the one with Billy Duffy, right?
Yeah, Billy Duffy, Matt Sorum, and Mike, his bass player.
Wow. Okay, cool. Excellent. And so what year was that?
I want to say that was 2010.
2010. So he called you up out of nowhere after all that time?
A record label, I think the record label that he was working with at the time had been doing a lot. I'd been doing a lot of videos for them. This label called Roadrunner. and I'd been doing a lot of videos for them, and his video came up, and the commissioner is the person who hires the director, knew my history with Van Halen.
Right.
And he called me, and he said, you should probably write on this. And then he was talking to Sammy one day, and he goes, yeah, we have some directors. Matter of fact, we got that guy that shot Van Halen in 06 and 07. Sammy said, oh, shit, hire that kid.
That's great. So now tell us about some other videos that you've shot. Like, what would be some videos that people would know that you've done?
That they would know? I don't know, because who knows music videos anymore? I mean, I've done the Jonas Brothers, Katy Perry,
right.
A lot of Deftones,
right.
Dream Theater. I've done a lot of music videos.
Let me ask you this, Andrew. I'm just curious, and this drives me crazy. So we live in the age where YouTube is such a big thing, and everybody is looking at videos on their phone all day long, all the time. Why aren't music videos a bigger thing in this digital age?
That's a very good question. And I think something happened with, like, the death of MTV
right.
and now.
Right.
So what happened was MTV died, and the budgets went way down.
Right.
Like, I've known this for a long time. I got into the game, as they say,
right.
about 4 years too late.
Oh.
4 years too late.
Wow.
I mean, my first video was for Deftones at the height of their fame.
Right.
So that helped me a lot.
Right.
But then I got in. I think the biggest budget I ever had was Nickelback.
Okay. Oh, Nickelback's huge, yeah.
I did the video for Rockstar.
Oh yeah,
wow.
That's huge. That was a gargantuan video.
You want to know where that video was edited?
At 5150?
At 5150.
Oh, wow.
At 5150.
I love that video. I watch that video all the time. That's a fantastic video.
Yeah, that video was edited there, as well as the Jonas Brothers Year 3000.
Oh, that's another huge video. I mean, that's another one, yeah.
And in that video, Ed heard me on the phone one day with my producer talking about what I wanted the back line to look like.
Right.
Amps and heads.
Yeah.
And he overheard it when I hung up. He said, hey, come here. So we walked out to this garage that houses all of his guitars and all of his amps.
Right.
He pointed at some amps. He goes, you talking about shit like that?
Wow.
And I said, that's exactly what I was talking about. He goes, well, just use that shit. And I said, cool, man. Like, somebody has to come get it. Are you cool? Somebody driving on the property to get it? He goes, that's what Matt's for. He'll bring it there.
Oh, Jesus.
Poor Matt.
So Matt Bruff came and delivered this back line to the Jonas Brothers set.
Wow.
So if you watch the Year 3000 video, those are Eddie's amps and heads.
That's incredible. So now, does Matt still work for Eddie?
I mean, as of today, I couldn't tell you yes or no.
Okay, right.
I would assume 99.9% yes.
Yeah.
I can't see Matt being replaced by anyone or anything.
So now, in terms of your photos for your book, did you shoot the garage too?
Not the inside of the garage.
Okay.
You can see the outside of the garage. This one shot the outside of the garage where I think he must have just gotten a bunch of new gear sent to him. But I always just thought it was a funny photo, which is just this big pile of broken down cardboard boxes with the EVH logo on them.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
Next to some trash cans.
Right.
And I just the second I saw that, I always thought, wonder if that's weird to take out your trash and it has your name on it.
Yeah, that is funny.
That must be, you know you've made it when.
Exactly. And what about in terms of the tape room? Did you take any photos of the tape room, the famous tape room?
Yeah.
You did?
Reel to reel?
The reel to reel, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's some Ampeg tape cases.
Wow.
That are in there. Yeah, it's this little middle room. It's really tiny, but.
Right. It's like a library.
Yeah, I mean, I paid attention to, like, what I thought people would want to see, man. I mean, obviously, like, really nice pictures of Ed and Alex and Wolf, but, having met a lot of fans and talked to people, like, the details, man.
What about, did you take photos, like, when they were, like, having lunch or, like, sleeping or hanging out?
There was no lunch.
No lunch? No.
No.
No one eats?
Sorry, man. Sorry. Sometimes it's hard for me to get back into, because when somebody says, like, somebody's asked me, like, so, like, there's a kitchen up there and food. I always just laugh first. And I go, no, there's no food, man.
No wonder Ed looks so skinny. I guess those guys don't eat and they don't sleep. What's the story?
No, Ed eats like pure protein. I mean, when I